You know, it's actually been, like, I've been pleasantly surprised it hasn't turned as brassy as it has, so it's been actually really nice. It's a little blonder than I was expecting, but at the same time, I also feel like it, because it just didn't get brassy, it hasn't bothered me, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, overall, I was really happy, like, and I could hardly see my roots, so that was nice. I mean, the gray here, you can still see is, but it's, you know, obviously, kind of been hidden much better, and overall, I've been really pleased with the color.
That's good.
Yeah.
Today, I know you said it was feeling kind of blonde. Would you want to go a little bit lighter and pick out more warmth, or you want to keep the dimension that you currently have?
I think the dimension is...
Keep it?
Yeah, to keep the dimension.
Okay. So you're okay with like the warmth in between still?
I do, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So then we'll kind of keep the dimension. Are we doing a haircut too?
No, I'm trying to grow it out a little bit.
Okay.
So, yeah. Would you try to go a little bit cooler? Like, what's your... I mean, again, just...
It depends. I mean, we did more of a... Last time we did more of like a violet gray. And that would be the most pigmented, cool toned gray that I have. But were you using any purple shampoo or anything?
I was using that...
the Barcelona?
Yes.
Okay. How often were you using it?
Maybe like every other time I shampooed.
Are you still using it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long do you leave it in?
About 5 minutes or so. 3 to 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Did you use it the last shampoo?
No, not the last shampoo.
Okay.
The shampoo before that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be probably... The toner we did last time is kind of the pigmentedest. If you want to preserve it as much as possible, you could try doing it every shampoo, but then I would for sure follow with like a hair mask after and then really hydrate after, because any purple shampoo gonna be a little bit dry.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. That's why I think I just switched to every other, because it was like...
Yeah, that's the only other thing, but other than that, I feel like it faded pretty normally. Do you want to do the same blend that we did last time?
I'm trying to think. It was more of a... So it was like more like an ash... I mean, I forget like what the original color was, because it's been a while, but...
It was like a violety gray.
That's right. You know, I did like that in the beginning.
Okay.
So we could
do the same. And then the amount of light pieces, you want to do the same?
Yeah, that was fine.
Okay. Yeah. And then, do you feel like you could have gone longer, or were your roots bugging you?
It's now just bugging me.
Just recently?
Yeah, just
like
recently.
The
last couple weeks. So
this was perfect.
This was actually perfect.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we'll just do the same thing, touch it up, and then tone to the same toner.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we get into today's transformation, I just want to show you a quick before of this client's before. So this is her footage from the first time we did her hair. This is like her before we did the color, and how she kind of started out with some old Madison Reed color that she was doing at home. She doesn't have a ton of gray in the back, and this is what she left with her first appointment with me. We kept it more on the dimensional side. She didn't want to feel too blonde, even though I did tell her, since we are doing highlights, that it was going to fade more on the blondish side. So I tried to do a placement that was going to be very dimensional, but also try to get rid of that permanent color that was making everything just feel overall warm by adding in those tip outs. So that's why you can see the root is a little bit more dimensional and kind of like melts into her lighter ends. And then I just kind of tried to create a pattern that would really mimic her gray pattern, but at the same time kind of correct that old permanent color that we are trying to stray away from. And then this is from today's appointment video. So this is what that color faded out to, and as you could see in our consult, she felt like it faded out really nicely. She was actually surprised at how light it did get, but with that being said, as her white and gray hair grew in, essentially that's what really made everything blend and just grow out super seamless compared to the dark tone that she had earlier. So in our consult, I was trying to figure out whether the permanent color was still bugging her or if the regrowth of the roots was bugging her, because that would ultimately determine what kind of blend I'm going to do today, whether I'm going to pick out more of the old permanent color or just keep focusing on her gray pattern more so to kind of get her through this transition as we begin to grow out that permanent color. And now that we're like in her transition stage, what I mean by that is when we are trying to kind of get her by to fully grow out the old color that she just wasn't loving against her natural gray roots. So everyone's transition period technically will look a little bit different, and in the process with it too, the fun part of doing gray blending is just figuring out what is going to work best with my clients and figuring out what they loved and didn't love, and just making tiny adjustments so that every time they come in and we do their color, it gets just a little bit better and they start to really enjoy the way that it grows out and fades out against their natural gray pattern, and just makes everything so much more seamless. And in the process of doing this whole transition, it's a lot smoother than opposed to if they were to just fully grow out the permanent color, of course, which either way is a personal preference. I always try to convince my clients to have a color that is just going to last them as long as possible. That is my ultimate goal, not only to have them grow out their hair and go fully gray, but to just in general have healthier hair, and in my opinion to have something that is going to last long and be healthy. It's really to create a game plan that is going to help your clients get there. And in the process of all that, waiting longer in between appointments, in my opinion, might not be the most popular opinion, but in my opinion, does make it a lot healthier on your hair. So also finding that ultimate game plan for my clients to get them on their healthy hair journey and get there in a smooth, healthy transitional way to where they can eventually do less and less color and less appointments as they embrace their own hair, and then maybe eventually get to a point where they're really just making enhancements versus anything else is usually my goal. And so with this client, since she said that she wanted to keep some of the dark, I am going to be picking up some of those old highlights that we did last time. And this is a great video because you're going to be seeing how easy it is for me to kind of basically pick up where I left off last time. So last time her appointment was about 3 months prior to this, and that's kind of like a good rule of thumb that I give my clients to wait if they're unsure. Now, it's not like mandatory or anything. I never have any of my clients come in right away unless they are a bleach in tone or anything like more of a solid tone. If they're doing something that is a lot more blended, dimensional, and lived in and just more on the natural side, I really encourage them to wait as long as possible. And it might not be the most traditional way, but in my opinion, for the way and technique that I have now incorporated for all of my clients to follow, it just makes it a lot better and for the health of the hair, and then also gives me more wiggle room to really push the hair the next time they come in to get it closer to the goal if they are to wait longer in between appointments. And so I find that 12 weeks with a dimensional color like this is kind of a sweet spot, which she did say that's kind of like where her roots started to bug her. But I always encourage my clients to wait as long as possible. If you could go longer, definitely go longer. But in the case that sometimes they feel like they need to come in sooner too, we just find other options and game plans to where I can guide them and see what kind of maintenance they're really looking at and explore and explain their options then. But today I'm pretty much doing the same sectioning that I do in all of my videos. So if you're new, I do a mohawk section, I love a good mohawk section because it just makes things simple and very clean. I like my sections to be very repetitive in the sense that it makes it easy for me to touch up to prevent any breakage, overlapping, and to get through the appointment a little bit quicker so that my clients are not there all day and the lightener isn't sitting on their hair all day. It just overall has worked for me, and when I do my touch-ups on my clients, it just makes it a whole lot easier to touch it up. So you can see I'm picking up some of her old highlights, but in the meantime too, as I'm picking these up, those old highlights that I did last time, I want you to notice that in the last video, if you did tune into that one, a lot of these sections were actually sliced, and so this appointment I'm working on converting those into more of a weave to soften her grow out. And the reason why I did slices before is because I was trying to get rid of that permanent color, and now I'm just trying to blend in her root. She actually didn't mind the warmth of the permanent color in her hair still. It was more so she wanted to keep the dimension and just maintain the soft grow out that we have ultimately created now. And so I'm just now trying to break up, and so these sections that I'm picking out and weaving, they are going to be spaced out a little bit further apart than my traditional slices that I did her first appointment. And my slices have now turned into more of like a medium-sized weave. Now as she comes in for her next touch-up, I will be working on doing very similar sectioning, but also spacing out the foils maybe a little further apart, or maybe doing a weave that is smaller depending on how she feels when this all grows out, and just making tiny adjustments as we go. I will say this was her second session with me, and so after this we started tackling down once the dimension started to grow in more of the permanent color, and just kind of altered depending on how she felt. I would switch off with doing a softer blend, meaning doing more of a baby light and leaving more dimension, versus picking out more of that old permanent color until it's fully cut off. And until this day, because she's only been with me for about a year, the permanent color still isn't fully out, but we've gotten to a point where I've been able to weave it little by little as she comes in. And at the end of this video, guys, if you guys stay tuned, I will show you what her hair looks like now when she comes in for her touch-ups. And really quick, we usually do lift her to about a level 9 and 10. We did a shadow root with the Danger Jones gloss toners, and for her shadow root, I usually do the 5-1, and then for her mids and ends, we do the violet and the silver mixed together. And I loved these artistic toners because they just have a beautiful fade out too for my clients, to the point where it still fades out to a pretty blonde and doesn't fade out too brassy or anything like that. It gives a bit of lift too when we do tone the hair, and I just feel like it makes the hair feel really great as well too.
Fabulous, Missy. That's beautiful. Yay!
You're welcome, Francis.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. We were able to retouch this up, maintain some more dimension throughout her root. You can see that the root definitely looks more dimensional than the ends. We definitely broke up a lot of those slices overall, and as she comes in, we will continue to do so. And little by little too, I will start making her highlights a little bit thinner to really match her gray pattern and get her to stretch her appointments a little bit longer, just as planned. And just before I end this video, I just want to share with you guys, this is her year update from her very first session with me. This is what she left like, and we were able to just really maintain that beautiful dimension that she naturally has. And over time, you can see her ends did get a little bit lighter because we were picking through and trying to eventually get rid of that old permanent color that she originally started with. But we are able to fully go a little bit longer in between her appointments while still maintaining the same type of look. Now, everyone's maintenance plan could look different, but for this particular client, she generally likes to now push it every 4 months, opposed to doing the 3-month mark. And even when she comes in, her hair still looks great, and she just comes in for a refresh because everything is just fading a little blonder than she would like, and she just wants to reblend the roots. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.